Man, I'm not going to do too many of these dark videos. Well, I'll probably be getting more of these. My brain. I just spent a whole week. I'm just recovering. I lose about at least a week out of every month. The last week of the month and the first week of the month. So that's almost anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks or 10 days when they're cooking. And it has, there are, your body, it goes through a cycle, there's a pattern to it. And I guess I'm going to try and describe that so that people can be aware of when they're around a meth lab, so they don't get confused thinking there is something wrong with them. Because I think that's important. And I'm starting to discover when you make videos, not everybody understands things the same way. There are cultural differences. There are definitely age differences and stuff. So I need to clarify something because, I said in a couple of my videos, look, I've had friends in the past that did a lot of stuff, okay? Like my one friend, which I don't really even, I wouldn't want to probably spend time with her anymore. And she's completely straight now. I don't even know if she smokes any pot or anything. I think she's addicted to food. And I think that's not very good. I don't think it, I have to choose my words carefully. It disturbs me. But I think I don't think it's about the food. I think she herself disturbs me. Because, I did a video, the first dark video, like this one. I'm sorry. It's about, it's 2:45 in the morning. Man, the nights are getting longer. I'm going to be probably spending a lot of nights. I wake up around 3 a lot. Okay, anyway, where was I? Okay, so I am gonna go into a little more detail about the patterns it takes when you're near a meth lab, because I've discovered it's not just me and my son, but the man across the street too. His mother was not believing him. She lives up the road. He lives across the street. And so she's not getting affected by it. But he is. And she wasn't believing him until I started describing it. We went to breakfast once and I started saying, this is what it feels like. And I started describing it. And she said, oh my God, my son's been saying this. And I don't think she said she outright didn't believe him, but she didn't maybe take him as seriously as she started taking him after I started talking about how it affects me. Well, now you've got 3 people saying the same things. That's so, although it's Validating. God. I really don't care about validation, but in this case, it was probably a good thing for her son. Her son's probably close to my son's age. Anyway, so now she's trying to help me. We're trying to figure out. I think she has decided who she thinks it is. And I think I know who's involved. And you know what really angers me about the whole thing? I think the cook probably uses it. But I think the people who sell it, I don't think they use it. Maybe they do. But the consequences... See, I did say my friends have used all kinds of different drugs and had illicit sex and stuff like that. And I don't like judging anybody. We all have to make our choices. However, consequences come with those choices. And my best girlfriend from high school died at 45 years old from AIDS. She caught AIDS in the 80s before they had the drugs that they have now. But she caught it probably from a dirty needle, or she was always into a bunch of illicit sex, and she was bisexual, and her boyfriend and her got in a lot of trouble and stuff. And I think that she used heroin. That was her drug of choice. I myself have never used heroin. I've never put anything in my veins. I've tried a couple things. I've tried a couple different drugs. But the only thing I really feel is okay is I smoke pot. But I grow my own pot because I don't like buying pot. They use too many chemicals in it and stuff. So I grow mine completely organic, and it lasts me forever. I guess some people smoke so much it's like I had one friend that he doesn't do anything else, but he smokes pot. But he smokes so much of it, it's almost annoying. But he doesn't get lazy when he smokes it. He works. He's not a lazy person at all. It motivates him like it motivates me. Like I don't smoke pot and go to sleep. Some people say, "Oh, well, I need to smoke a joint so I can relax and go to sleep." That's not me. If I smoke pot, I get up and I do stuff like paint or play my guitar or listen to an audiobook or read a book or do something, a project, like build my cat's cage, or even this tent. Probably smoked pot to do most of this tent. So I don't, and I work in the yard or whatever. I can't smoke pot and go to sleep. It doesn't affect me that way. But I do grow my own. There's a lot of people that grow pot up here. Almost everyone has at least one plant in their garden. People here up north here in Northern California, people love the plant. They love the plant. I know of at least 2 people that grow it and don't even smoke it. Okay, so there are a lot of avid growers up here. And the ones that grow for themselves, they don't get big, huge plants. They grow little, tasty, little, yummy plants. That's it. They don't. We don't. But the ones that grow to sell it, they fertilize the plants, put so many chemicals on the plants that, I mean, some of them are the size of a frickin' truck. Okay, some of the just one plant will be huge. So, but not me. I don't do that. Mine are small. They don't get real big, and they're not. It doesn't taste chemically. It's pretty mild. I don't, and even then, I don't smoke every day. I don't, what I grow, I never use it all. It's not like that. And let's see, I don't drink alcohol at all. I like hot chocolate with some coffee in it. That's kind of a little bit of a drug to me. It gets me a little buzzed. Anyway, I had to make this video because although I don't like judging anyone, and I'm not here, as I said, to be anyone's conscience, I really like to let people do what they're going to do, because then I get an idea of who they really are. So, and then I don't go to parties here and stuff. I worked in nightclubs, but I never went to bars to drink. It always involved music. I don't drink. I've never been a drinker. I'm too sensitive. A person can open a thing of alcohol and I can smell it a mile away, depending on the wind. And I can taste it. And then also my soulmate got in the vehicle with a drunk driver, and he's dead now. I had to identify him in the morgue. So, I'm like I'm saying, to be responsible, the truth is, drugs are bad, mmkay? like, mmkay? The guy from South Park. Drugs are bad, okay? But I don't think that all drugs are bad. I don't go hang out with a bunch of people that use meth or heroin or cocaine. I've used cocaine a few times as a musician, but since I'm chemically sensitive, I gotta be really careful with that kind of thing. So I guess being chemically sensitive is like a double-edged sword, okay? I couldn't become addicted to anything. It would probably kill me before I could even get addicted. That's why, I couldn't get addicted to cocaine or meth. No way, dude. Like, meth makes people nasty. I'm sorry, it turns them into nasty people. And it makes them do questionable things. Heroin probably does too. I've never tried it. So, I guess I could go on and on and on and talk about drugs for a long time and try to convince you that although I say I'm not here to be anyone's conscience, my son, absolutely. No. Okay? It's not acceptable in this house. Okay? I mean, I smoke pot, that's it. But someone who's just going to sit and smoke joints all day long, that's just nasty. I smoke out of glass. Every once in a while, I'll smoke a joint if I want to take some on a hiking trip or something. But I smoke a little bit out of glass, and that's it. People who sit around and smoke joints all day, oh my God, they can be just as nasty. Not as nasty as a cigarette smoker, but still. And they turn into couch potatoes. So not everybody is affected by smoking pot like I am. But a lot of people are affected like I am. They get stuff done. They get motivated. You wouldn't know that they smoked it. They just, helps take the monotony out of some jobs or projects you're working on. But others just turn into lazy, don't do anything, couch potatoes, and that's not good. Okay, and then, okay, I guess I'm going to listen to this, and then I am going to do a video on how many minutes has this been? A while. Okay, you know what? Let me just do it real quick because I mentioned it. Okay, the patterns to help you understand when you are near a meth lab or your children or someone. Okay, because you can tell my head's still a little scattered. I feel, I'm starting to feel better, but I've just gone through a whole week to 10 days of being near the meth lab, and it drives me crazy. It does. It's horrible, and I want it to stop. I want them to stop it. I'm getting too old for this shit, for one thing. And when you start adding up losing a week to 10 days every fucking month, there it is. I couldn't help but cuss. But it's angering, okay? And if you add that up to 15 years, which is as long as I've been living here, that's 15 years. That is a week to 10 days out of every month for 15 years. That's a master's degree. Okay? It's my son's future. So, I want the lab gone. And I said, well, maybe I'll forget. That's because I don't want any more trouble than we already have. I'm not going to start feeding into the rage. Because I tell you, it fucking pisses me off. But that's me saying it pisses me off when I'm thinking about it, when I'm not reacting to it. But it pisses me off as a fucking chemical reaction too. And my son gets extra needy, okay? He gets aggressive. He gets kind of pushy, and then I react. I just want to be left alone when it's happening to me. I just want to try and ride it out. Because I know if I'm pushed too much, and life doesn't stop, you still have to handle stuff. And if you're living near a lab, it can be difficult. Because it's like Mr. Toad's Wild Frickin' Ride. Okay, it starts off with weird dreams. I know I've said this several times. When they first start cooking, it starts off with, you start having strange dreams. And like, I'm into dreams and stuff, and all that kind of stuff. Maybe even remote viewing. I might be a little bit aware like that. But I wouldn't know, and it doesn't mean that much to me. I'm not all into all that stuff. If it's something that happens, so be it. But it's not something I want to search out. Remote viewing. My life's interesting enough. I'm aware enough. Painstakingly aware. Because I'm chemically sensitive. And what a lot of people refer to as psychic or remote viewing and stuff, I think it can be as a result of exposures to certain things or a person's body chemistry. I don't chalk it up to being mystical. I'm not. I think it's real, but I don't think it's as far fetched as everybody makes it. Okay, and I think it's a thing. But I don't really want to chase anything like that. Probably, maybe because maybe it really does happen to me, and it's like, what the fuck ever. Or it doesn't. I really don't care. It means nothing compared to what I'm trying to say to you. Okay? Okay, so it starts off with dreams, and they're kind of weird dreams. Because it's like, I don't really want to be dreaming this, and I'm feeling very strange. It's not a good... It's not like nightmares either, though. It's just weird. It just feels unsettling. And then right about that time, I start getting worried, like about my mother and my animals, and I start really worrying, kind of unnecessarily. I mean, it's good to be aware, but I'm not a worrier. I don't have a lot of anxiety. I just kind of go through life and take it as it comes. But when they're cooking, I go through it, after the weird dreams, I start getting worried, almost overprotective. And then, man, then comes the starting to feel like your head's underwater. It's like you're carrying around cotton in your head or water in your head. It's horrible. And then I can't prioritize. I get to where and every day it gets a little worse for about 3 or 4 days. That chemical, whatever they're using, the next chemical after the chemical that gives you the dreams, and then the chemical they add that gives you the anxiety, and then you go for 2 or 3 days where your head, you get to a point where you cannot prioritize. It's even hard to get ready to go somewhere. But I'll be damned if finally I get in that car and I drive away, my head starts clearing up. I get into town and I can shop and my head starts clearing up. So for like 3 to 4 days, I suffer like that, and my son suffers like that, and I think the guy across the street suffers like that. And then both my son and the guy across the street, their skin gets burned. They start getting rashes and stuff, and bloody noses. Okay, the two of them get those symptoms. And one of my symptoms is just while my head's getting like hard to prioritize, I can't think. My symptom is just leave me the fuck alone. Just leave me alone. Okay, and then I start getting aggressive. Okay, and that ain't good. And then finally, just when I start feeling better, they burn the plastic containers. Or that could be another part of the cooking process. But you smell plastic. Okay, this has been long enough. I hope it's been helpful. Well, I don't want to be people's conscience, and I don't want to judge people. Drugs in my house, that kind of drug, unacceptable. And there is a difference. So I'm not like, all drugs are bad. And like my friend that used to do all kinds of horrible things at parties and stuff, the singer of my band, okay, and now I think she's retired, but she was a teacher. Dude, she did shit I would never do. And that's because I do have a conscience. and I want to keep a clean body. I don't have herpes. I don't have any sexually transmitted disease. I'm lucky, but I also was very selective in my life, and I have not had a lot of partners. When my lover died, and even before, I was always kind of very picky. Number one, because of my sense of smell and being sensitive, always very picky who I let near me and around me. But I also was a musician, and a lot of my friends were pretty wild. So, but I'm learning as I get older, dude, we have to draw a line. Okay? You have to draw a line. Because people who are using meth and heroin and stuff like that, that's just, you know what? They turn into shitty fucking people. Let's just put it that way. And I don't want anything to do with them. And if they fuck around with my kid, or fuck around with anybody I know, you know, ugh. Ugh. I don't know what else to say. This world's gone fucking crazy. Have some self-respect. Alright. Shit. I know I sound like an ass. Alright, there it is. Another dark video.